Ridiculous.
Love you, man.
I don't want to stop. I want the whole show to do this. All right, but we got to stop somewhere.
Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen.
That's right.
All right.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Just Too Sweet Show. And as you can see, the band is back together. To my immediate this way, we got Hollywood Dave.
What up?
Down here, look who's making his long-awaited return. Bert, what's going on? And of course,
what's going on?
Glad to be back. This guy over here, my tag team partner, the bad guy himself, Mr. Eric Zan, wearing sleeves. As we know, that does not happen very often. What is going on, Eric? Gentlemen, how we been lately? Give me a little update on since the last time we've all been together. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
Working.
I'm sharing the show.
Working, and more working.
Thanks, boss.
Boss man, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime, boss man. What about you, Dave? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Trying to do a little bit more research. Been doing the 4 quarters a little bit more often now. Not that I'm, leaving you guys behind, but I also had family in the last month come in, so I was a little bit busy with that. So that's why I kind of was like much on a little bit later than you guys were going. So, but I'm back, so we're good to go.
Nice. Mr. Zant, what about you, brother? What's going on? I just saw you a couple days ago, actually, in person, which is a very rare feat. But since then, what's going on?
Not much, man. Pretty low key. Had to have a stupid COVID test today. That was dumb. I don't recommend it at all. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but because she's like, I'm going to count to 10. And she's like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, thank God. But like, it didn't stick that. It's like, like that long. And they stick it way. You can feel it, dude. You can feel it going down. And they swab it around and they pull it out. But then I was done. It was like fucking 30 seconds. It was like 30 seconds. And it was done. But figure it out on a day my allergies are acting up where I'm stuffy and you know what I mean? My eyes are watery, so everybody's probably like, hey, go ahead,
COVID.
That's what happens now. Now you can't even cough on the subway anymore without getting looked at. So we don't want the hell with it. Nope. I haven't had that test. I've had the spit test. I do the spit test every week in work, so I haven't had the pleasure of the nasal one yet.
Well, don't. No, the thing is, we're in a hot spot right now up here. We're in my county in New York. I mean, you got one in Queens. I know that. But we got one up here, and like everybody's freaking out. And some people still call it a hoax. It's messed up. But we're all trying to be careful up here, man. It's back. Again. So we had a relatively quiet summer.
What phase are you guys at right now?
We're 3/4 open, I guess, like 75% we were.
That's so crazy.
Well, it is weird. It's weird though because we're open, but movie theaters aren't opening. No, and they're not even in remote chance of opening. So Regal just shut down the theaters in the city for who knows how long now. Maybe for good. 10 of them. Mm-hmm. So
10 of them.
They're blaming the mayor and they're blaming the governor. So I don't know what's going on. But like I said, we have a bunch of hotspots pop up. Those neighborhoods are now getting shut down. But what's going to stop those people from going into another neighborhood to buy their shit?
Yeah.
Nothing. I say leave the hot spots open. Let them stay in that neighborhood.
That's going to be us in a couple weeks because over here, basically, it's like everything's open. You don't got to wear your mask. There's still curfew, but it's like you go into a restaurant and it's 100% jam-packed. So it's like, I don't understand it.
Well, they blame it up here. There's a couple of counties that are all together: Tioga, Chemung, Broome, Delaware, Shenango. And Broome's the biggest metro area, like with Binghamton and Johnson City. There's like probably 500,000 people in the county, maybe. My numbers are way wrong, but let's just pretend I'm right. And there hasn't been a death since like September 9th, but there's like 7 hospitalizations or 10, and there's like like 300 people definite with COVID or 500 or something. I don't know. But thing is they scroll it back to a bar in Binghamton, a church, of course, in Steuben County, and a nursing home in Chemung County. And that's where it all kind of spread from, because, somebody went to see grandma, somebody went to church, and a bunch of stupid college kids went out and got to meet. I saw pictures. A friend of mine was in a car taking pictures of the street that all the bars are on in Binghamton. And it looked like a Backstreet Boys concert back in '98 when people were coming out. It was
that's exciting. Then that's exciting.
Yeah, it was bad, man. And now everybody's got COVID, but whatever.
So crazy, man.
That is nuts. All right, let's get into some wrestling. And I said a lot of anniversaries and a lot of things are popping up. So I figured why not acknowledge a couple of them. One of them off the bat is the anniversary of Mr. Yoko. Well, the birthday actually of Mr. Yoko Zuna. Well, I don't think we've ever gotten into a big conversation about Yoko Zuna on this show before. Of course, he's not really from Japan. He's not really a sumo wrestler from Japan. He's of course a member of the most famous Samoan family. I'm sorry, did I spoil that for you?
You're killing kayfabe. What's wrong with you?
Kayfabe
has been dead for like 20 years.
Yeah. So he's a big member of the Inouye superstar family. Big agile dude. Great heel. Multiple time world champion, tag team champion with Owen Hart, of course. Let's start with you, Eric, because I know you're the big. You've met Yoko. Am I incorrect in saying that?
You are correct. You are correct.
Actually, let's start with you and your impressions of Yoko.
I actually, when I started wrestling, Yoko was around down at the gym a lot, and he actually watched me in my early days training and helped me. Like, he helped a lot of us. Like, he would get in the ring, and he was super legit cool. Like, he would be like, no. He'd get right up in the ring and he'd stop us and help us and show us, and he was real positive. He wasn't like whatever, but he was totally about the business. Like, he wanted you to do it right. He wanted you to be trained right. He wanted you to know what you were doing the correct way, which all the Samoans are like that. I mean, they're just prolific. Like, nobody really realizes the talent these guys have and the talent that they have to teach people. But Yoko was phenomenal. He was very heavier than he was when he first came in, but he's still agile as a cat. I took a kick from him. That was pretty cool. And I got beat up by every Samoan there, but Yoko sticks out because he was Yoko. He was the champion. He was Yokozuna. He was just one of those guys that was larger than life. He was just a sweet guy. Nice. I won't want to say quiet, but I'll say he wasn't boisterous, but he didn't even need to say anything to be in the room, man. He gave off that vibe, but even without being as big as he is, he was really special. Especially, he was a special human being. He was, and like I said, I caught that after when he was training us. 2-3 times that I saw him. But it really affected me a lot, and I was freaking out because this is 96, 96, 97. And I'm in a ring with Yokozuna training, to be a wrestler. And it's wow, this is crazy, And like I said, sweetest guy. Still, like I said, agile. When he would do shit, because, whatever. He's a great big guy, 600 pounds. And you think how the hell can this guy move around? I mean, he was right with us. Boom, boom. Giving us a Beal. Doing a snap mare, doing a chop if we ducked and he came back off with an elbow or a kick. And, oh, man, it was just it was so cool. Because, it's we're all, of course, marking out afterward. We're going, my God, Yokozuna beat us up. This is great. And nobody's ever going to believe us, but they did, So, but what a sweet guy. What a sweet guy. And I even saw him make time for people, fans and stuff. It was unbelievable. It was really great. So Yeah, that's what I remember. That's my experience with him. Other than seeing him for the first time like on TV when we were younger, but
Well, the first Samoan to win the heavyweight championship, first Samoan to win the Royal Rumble, and
Mhm.
he has to pretend to be Japanese. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I bet Samoans don't like that. Dave, give us your impression of Yokozuna when you first saw him.
So to me, man, Yoko is one of those that I remember from when I as a kid, just watching, just being in awe of him, just because of like what Eric was saying, just the way he moved. He was so agile that you think, man, a guy this size, he can't really do much, but he did. And it was like him and Bam Bam Bigelow to me when I was growing up that I was like, damn, bro, these guys are huge and they're moving they're moving so quick. They're moving quicker than I would. And then the thing with Yoko that got me was, man, when he like his finisher, when he would just sit on you, man, that I don't even know how you can like fake that. Like it just feels like that was just gonna take the entire air out of your body. And for any more than 3 seconds, you might just be dead.
The bonsai drop?
Yeah.
Bonsai drop.
Junior gave me one once.
So it's like
Rikishi, yeah.
So watching that,
it was
incredible.
Bert, what about you? What do you think of Yokozuna and his legacy and all that good stuff?
I mean, for me, he was just someone that was ahead of his time. Just it feels like, even though he did a lot in the couple of years that he was really on top, he was just kind of getting started. I think definitely it's unfortunate that the weight issue got a little ahead of him and that he wasn't able to, take care of himself a little bit better to last a little bit longer. But like I said, for the time that he was on top, man, he was great. I mean, definitely one of the high points of the new generation. For me, even when he wasn't in the top picture, he was still able to stay relevant just because of his presence. I mean, he definitely was unlike anyone else that was on TV at the time, besides, Undertaker and everyone else. But in terms of like newer stars, he literally came out of nowhere and just made a huge impression.
And he was a threat.
He was, let's say, definitely.
He was a
threat.
Like,
he was born October 2nd. Born October 2nd, died October 23rd, 2000. 34 years old only. 34 years old. That's Samoans, though. They seem to live fast and die young, which is unfortunate. I don't know how often Sika's still going strong. They got to be in their, 70s? 80s?
Oh, upper 70s. Oh, my God.
They figured it out.
Afa was, even back when I was training, he was probably, in his 50s? Like, it was still like touching a concrete wall. And, like, when he smacked you or hit you, it was like, I'm like, okay, if I don't die, I'm like, my ears are going to ring for the rest of my life. I mean, a level of manhood, like, you just don't realize. But at the same time, they're like the sweetest, nicest human beings you're ever going to meet in your life. I mean, I've literally seen every Samoan give the shirt off their back to people. Like, it's such a cool. They're such a cool legacy, such a cool family, and they're really about family. Like, they're all close, man. Don't like think that they're not. They're all close. Even The Rock, like, he's still close with all of them too. But to answer your question, I got bonsai dropped by Rikishi once, and that wasn't great. He was a sultan when he did it to me.
So no stink face then afterwards.
No, that wasn't a thing back then. Oh, that wasn't a thing back then. That's pre Rikishi. But Junior was big back then. My God, he liked me. I don't know why he liked me, but he liked me because I kind of went at it like all in, like I didn't give a shit if I got punched, kicked, thrown out, you hit me with whatever. Like, some guys were like they'd do a few spots and they'd want to roll out. I wouldn't roll out. I just keep going. And he liked that because they like toughness. They like people that are tough because they're tough. They're obviously nobody's going to be as tough as them. And I'm telling you right now, nobody is. There is no way. I mean, I think there's cars that are still in ICU that have run into Samoans that, you know what I mean? They're probably in a junkyard somewhere, but it's really cool. But Yoko was, like I said, when I first, real quick, I got to tell you this. The first time I saw him, as I walk into our old gym was in Allentown, and they have a huge window, and obviously they got those shades that can, like those beauty salon shades that can go, you know what I mean? Dave, come on. Mm-hmm. So I see this like figure like walking back and forth. And I'm going like, wow, now what monster did they let out now? Well, who's gonna kill me this week? You know, I mean, I already had Samu, I already had Rosie, I already had Sika, already all these. I mean, every Samoan you can think of has already kicked my ass from Allentown to Lee Heighton, and I go in there and I look and like I see all these guys surrounding, like not surrounded, but they're they were all talking, 2-3 of them, and I look around, and I'm like. I looked at Vince, my partner to be, and I said, "That's Yoko Zuna." He goes, "No." I said, "Yeah, that's Yoko Zuna." So we tried not to get starstruck. When you're 20 years old, and you've been a wrestling fan your whole life, you're like, of course you're going to be like a little schoolgirl. So we were like,
and he was big, right, Eric? He was big, right? Even bigger than his last
96, right? 97.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Like really big, yeah.
I was surprised at how. I mean, he's probably 6 feet tall, maybe 5'11", 6 feet tall. I mean, I've talked about the height thing with wrestlers. Like I was like surprised because I thought I was going to be like the short, I thought I was going to be like Shawn Michaels. And little did I know, Shawn Michaels comes up to here on me.
he was billed at 6'4", which means he was probably about 6'1", 6 foot.
He was about up to here on me, 6 feet,
about 6
maybe.
foot.
About 6 feet. So, because Triple H is like to hear on me. Like when I passed him at the Broome County Arena, like he's not 6'4", Triple H, and I could kick his ass too. Anyway, look at Tim. So
I say nothing.
So we get training and stuff. We do our squats because you got to do 1,000 squats. In between each set of squats, you got to do 25 push-ups, alternate 25 crunches or sit-ups. Blah, 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 until you get the 1,000 done. And by the time that's over with, and, after your kidney and your gallbladder are laying on the mat and you stuff them back in your mouth and you're alive again, then you start, going through drills, doing this and that. Like we were running the ropes and stuff, learning how to run the ropes and bump. Because we've been in a few months, and we were learning to do the ropes and bump off the rope, Like if you guys ever saw that Tough Enough where Triple H was pissed off at all the guys because they weren't really doing shit. Yeah. When they punched him and he would snap down, that's what we were learning. But we didn't have a choice because when we got hit by a Samoan, you either went down or your jaw was going to get broke. So I can't tell you how many nights I went home like, I couldn't eat, or like they'd hit me here, or they'd hit you here, like right here in this collarbone part, and oh god, it hurts so bad. I never let that out back then, but I can now because I'm older. But when Yoko punches, because we're all like, we kind of forgot Yoko was there, and then all of a sudden he's like, hang on a minute, and all of a sudden we feel the ring like move like this, and he's getting up into the ring, and he's like kneeling down, and he's helping some of the guys do like flips and stuff, like flip them around, snap mare them. And so I went up and I said, hey man, can I try a couple of those? He goes, get in. So I went in the corner, jumped, and he threw me, and he's like, hang on a minute. He shot me off the ropes. And he gave me the super kick, and I snapped down, and he liked that. And Vince did too. Vince was doing the same thing, and he liked us because we're like like Kurt Hennig. We had springboards in our feet, and like I said, we weren't afraid to bump. We weren't afraid to do anything like that. We weren't afraid to get hit because a lot of guys were like, oh, like Samu would punch hard. Oh my god, I'm doing this because one time I had like 25 stitches in my head from a chair shot the previous weekend, and we were training one night, and he just kept beating the piss out of me. So all of a sudden I start bleeding and stuff. I had that long blonde hair that's turning pink. He goes, damn brother, I opened you up. I said, yeah, I was already opened up. I said, you just opened it up more. He's like, oh shit. So he felt terrible, and but it was fine. It was fun. But no, being in the ring with Yoko was surreal, man. It was like that's probably a highlight of my career, as short as it was. 6 years is all right. But surreal. I mean, especially the guys like us who Yokozuna meant a lot to us, and like he was a pivotal part of our young wrestling days. I mean, when he came in, it was like, oh my God, Yokozuna, and he fought the Undertaker. So
and he lost to Hulk Hogan.
And he lost to Hulk Hogan. They were ribbing him about that. They were ribbing
Which
him
we
about
won't
that.
talk about it. We will not talk about again.
We spent the whole show on it.
We spent a whole show on Hulk Hogan doing that.
So,
All right,
Eric,
another
I
anniversary. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I had a question about what Eric was saying about the stitches. So back then, like, how did you guys go to? Like, did you guys have someone at the school, or did you have to go to like a clinic or something to get the stitches done?
This was a show. This is after I was trained and I was wrestling. This was a couple years later, like '98. So I was at a show in Bethlehem, and it was us, Vince and I versus the Grungers, and they were going to like decimate us, and then we were going to come back and get our comeback the next card, which was every weekend we had a show, just about every other. I don't know. It was a lot. So the Grungers were a couple of putzes who were small guys, 165, 70 pounds. They were tough, but they had to like compensate more because they weren't as big, I mean, they were big, but not like huge. Like you'd laugh at them if you saw them. They were pretty tough, and they were the Grungers. So they like had the grungy look with the, they tied the flannels and they had the, that's stupid. I liked them because they were stiff, but they were a little too stiff. So we went through the match. What we're going to do, this spot, that spot, wasn't really going to be much of a match because Vince and I were going to get the shit kicked out of us, which we did. So here's what happened on that awful night. They're like, which one of you wants to go through a table? I'm like, I don't care. They're like, well, one of you takes the chair shot, one of you takes the table. I'm like, okay, I'll take the chair shot. So I took the chair shot. Vince took the table. And I knew the table wasn't going to be as bad, I thought. So at the beginning, we're working him over and stuff. And next thing I know, I see like Hank Aaron coming around and swinging this chair. And I got hit right here so freaking hard. I mean, I literally like I don't know. I saw stars. I saw the future. I saw the Ancient Aliens guy. I mean, it was just everything. It just went black. Then I came back to. And when I came to, all the blood was coming because my head was down like this. I was kind of whatever. Next thing I know, I got blood all over myself. And I'm like, what the F is going on here? Just as I look over, they both have Vince up in a power bomb. And they power bomb him through a table, which would have went perfectly fine. But the molding on the side with the tacks, when the table came in, it went like this. And one of the pieces caught Vince here and cut him right there.
Oh shit!
And one of the pieces of table hit him in the tooth. And it was all. So I'm a bloody mess. I'm split open like bad. I got a concussion. Vince is all effed up. I mean, but like everybody was like all the ladies and the kids were like, oh my god. I mean, it was bad. And we were beat up, but it went over because the next match, like everybody came to Hazleton to watch the match and stuff. So it was really cool. We got back at him. We got him back. I was press slamming the one guy, and I kept stiffing him when I threw him down, and I don't know. He potatoed me once in the eye. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, is this how it's going to be? So when I shot him off for a clothesline, I mean, I took the wind right out of him, and he went sailing. It was great because I was like 240 pounds back then, which in wrestling terms is about 260. So I looked bigger. They were like built at like 220. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I was carrying them around like this. It was like they were 220. Vince was about 215, 220. But yeah, that was awful, David. And what to answer your question after I go on my stupid tangent.
I was gonna say, where's the answer to the question?
That match. Okay, you remember the Doctor? Okay, hey, wait a minute. This is going to tie into another Hell in the Cell. Do you remember that guy with shaggyish hair, the Doctor, that was checking Mick Foley when he was trying to come back out and when he first got thrown off? He had a mustache, shaggy hair. He's a friend of Afa, and he was at the match, and he stitched my head.
Oh,
he stitched my head. Wrote me a prescription for what's the most common antibiotic? Whatever. He wrote me a prescription for that. I went to the CVS, got it filled. I had a grade. I don't know how they graded him back then, but I had a concussion. I mean, I was I was out. So I stayed the night with a friend. She was waking me up, make sure I was fine. And I drove home. And but yeah, he stitched me up. He was there, happened to be there. If not, I would have had to have gone to the emergency room. But he happened to be there. So I got like old school stitched, old, you know what I mean? Everything was like an old school thing. Yeah, it was great.
That is you and Foley, same doctor.
Crazy.
Yeah. And that's him. That was him. If you watch the Hell in the Cell after Foley, I think it's after he gets
thrown off, no?
He got chokeslammed through the top, right?
No, that's the second bump when he gets
That's
in the
the
ring.
second bump. I think that's the one where they tried to get him out of there, and the doctor was over there. You could see that doctor. That I can't remember his last name. I want to say like Dr. No, Kevorkian. I don't know, but I can't remember his last name. He was really cool guy, really cool guy. So yeah, that's the.
I'm going to take that opportunity to segue because you mentioned Hell in a Cell. Let's talk about the very first Hell in a Cell that took place at In Your House. Bad. I forgot a D, by the way. I know it's 2 D's in bad when they did it, but whatever.
Did you see how I spelled bad guy?
Yeah, I did. I got it. I picked up on it.
Yeah, thanks for noticing, everybody. No, really, great. I'm trying to fit in with the show here. The only show that I'm on, by the way, Steve Faraci.
Oh, here we go with this again.
Hey, it's coming up. It's coming up. The anniversary of the screw job's coming. So
one more month.
That's it. which we can't talk about possibly again, unless Brett comes up with some new information like he does every year. It seems to come out with something new. This pay-per-view was interesting for a couple moments. It was the first Hell in a Cell. It was also the last time Vince would be at ringside doing an announcing because we know what happened a month later. Mr. McMahon was born.
What a maneuver!
And also, it's also famous for they found Brian Pillman dead in his hotel room that very morning. He was supposed to take on Dude Love in a match, and instead of Dude Love, we got midgets. I'm sorry, little people. Max Mini. You didn't get midgets, we got little people.
Oh man, we're talking about the whole event, right?
We watched that whole pay-per-view. That whole moment when it's like, very serious. Brian Pillman sucks because he was another one that had a lot of potential to be bigger than he was at the time. But Vince, there's the whole he passed away, and that's all we know. But anyway, we have a hopefully an entertaining contest that'll get the fans excited. And then it's just like Max Moon, and I was like, what?
And it's midgets. Yeah. Oh, this guy's dead. So here's midgets.
but the crowd loved it. They popped for it. So it's like, okay.
I wonder, who was the one? El Gordita or whatever his name was. The one with the horns and shit.
I don't think the crowd knew though.
Here's the funny thing though. They had 2 matches to fill in for Dude Love and Brian Pillman. The other one was the tag title match, which there was no pop. No, it was the Headbangers who were the champions, by the way, who I completely must have blocked out of. I must have blocked that completely out of my mind. Yes. I must have completely blocked the Headbangers champions out of my mind because I didn't remember that. So I'm watching that today. I'm going, wow. And then, the Godwins come out and actually freaking win. I was like, well, I must have blocked it out. I must have pushed it away and said, nope, never happened. Never happened.
Do you know how big the really are?
Show.
Yeah.
Do you know how big those rednecks really are? Like when they say they're 6'7" and 350 pounds, that's not kayfabe. They're big hillbillies.
Yeah, they are big. They're all big.
Raw boned, pig farming, tobacco chewing hillbillies. Like don't go and look at their sheep at their farm.
And of course, this was also happened to be the rival of one Kane, his very first, as Kane. Not his first match in WWE, but his first match as Kane, which is probably one of the best. I think we talked about that too. One of the best debuts in wrestling history has to be Kane. Just Vince gotta be Kane, and then ripping the door off. It was absolutely incredible. So, before we even start with match my match, or am I the only one? Maybe it was because it was kayfabe. Am I the only one who thought Brian Pillman committed suicide? I don't know why I thought that. I think I'm not now. I knew he had a heart problem because he had the same problem as his father. But I think I was so wrapped up into the kayfabe at the time. I could have swore someone mentioned that he had actually committed suicide, but he didn't. Am I the only one who thought that?
I didn't think that.
I think I had the same thought process as well. I just can't really remember because it was such a long time ago. But I didn't know that it was like the reason for his death at the time.
I mean, I know a lot of the stuff that he did in kayfabe was like, it was kind of like drawing the line. Like you didn't know if he was really,
with the gun
doing it or.
The Austin thing.
That segment's super underrated too. But like that whole thing, like you didn't know if Pillman was really doing it or it was just a work or you don't know. So, but it was. Yeah. I didn't think that was. I think that was a real thing because the way that they announced it and played it, it wasn't like a shoot not a shoot. It wasn't like a work or nothing like that. It was like legit because it happened before the show. It was like a couple hours that morning. So.
Yeah.
He never surfaced, right? He never surfaced out of his room.
Mm-mm. Yeah, they called the hotel on the fine and they said, he died. They found him dead in his room, but it was from a heart attack or he had heart problems too. Like his father had the same heart problem and died of the same heart problem. So it wasn't even just like a regular heart attack. Because, people right away, steroids, this, that. No, he actually had a legit heart problem. Probably shouldn't have been wrestling. But what are you going to do? You're going to be able to stop him doing that.
Maybe it was COVID.
Probably. He was the first one.
He was the first COVID.
So generally, I don't know. It was a decent. I rewatched it. It was a decent pay-per-view. I miss a lot of the stuff that went on back then. Opening match, the Nation of Domination against LOD, and it's the 2-on-3 match because Ken Shamrock was coughing up blood after getting beat up. It was a decent match. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember it or watched it recently.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it a couple hours ago just to prepare. But yeah, like I thought it was a good opener. Loved Hawk. Just shit. Every time he grabbed the mic, it was like, oh, here we go. It's like if you think we're gonna lay down and not challenge you, you're sadly mistaken. And doing drop kicks. I remember the LOD ever doing drop kicks with both of them in that match, which is crazy.
Hawk was big for the drop kicks. Yeah, he was good. Eric, you remember the match?
I do. Vaguely, I do. They did anybody else think that like Animal was solid, but did anybody else think that like Hawk? Is that when we started seeing like a step loss with him? Like it kind of looked like Hawk was struggling a little more. It didn't look like he was keeping himself in shape. You know what I mean?
Well, my feelings on LOD. I think they're just the watered down Road Warriors, and I don't think they were as good. But yeah, I could see what you're saying. It could have been the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
they didn't get their title run yet, right? They didn't get their title run yet, right?
No, they won it from the Godwins after that, right?
Mm-hmm. Did they? I don't remember. And then they lost it to Nasty Boys.
Probably a couple months.
And they got it back from the Nasty Boys. How many times did they win the title? Twice.
Twice, I think. I think they won it from the Natural Disasters, right? Or
the Nasty
Boys. Then the Natural Disasters beat them. Then they beat them back, and then they lost to not the Quebecers, the Steiners. No, the Steiners beat somebody. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. What was I going to say? Where the hell did it go? Oh yeah, Farouk came down to the ringside, interfered. Kama Mustafa, who has many, many, many names, but you can call him the Godfather if you want.
Is that where he
kicked Hawk in the back of the head, which led to a rock bottom.
The martial arts
by Rocky Maivia.
And
that caused the win. I thought it was a decent match, though. I kind of liked it. I think even D'Lo Brown was underrated at the time too. He's actually a very entertaining dude and a very good worker.
I agree.
And I get back in the day. I hate the Nation. I hate them. But again, they were a pretty good faction too, and they can really generate a lot of heat. So I kind of dug them too. Any thoughts? Anybody else? Thoughts before we move on to the midgets?
What I did get from the match that since I watched it, I ended up watching it yesterday, was after watching Dark Side of the Ring. I was like, damn, I didn't remember how stiff LOD used to be. I felt like some of their punches and stuff. I was like, damn, that shit looks like it hurts. Yeah, and they were selling like, and then sometimes they wouldn't sell like properly. Like they would just get up like nothing. I'm like, damn. All right, going back, they made me think about the Dark Side of the Ring and what they were saying, how these guys are just real tough guys. Like they aren't playing tough guys; they are real. Tough guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who's going to challenge them? Who's going to say, "Oh, you were a little stiff tonight"? No one's going to tell them they were a little
No,
stiff.
be like, hey, good job out there.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the Steiner brothers. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
The Steiner brothers were tough, man. Don't ever let
I
anybody
mean,
tell you
they're
that.
legit. They're legit too.
Yeah, the Steiner brothers could pretty much kick anybody's ass, just like the LOD. Believe me.
Pre Big Papa Pump. Once he got
Yeah.
too big, he wasn't fighting nobody. He was too big. He lost all mobility whatsoever.
Yeah,
He
because
couldn't reach. He couldn't reach down. His chest was too big.
now it's got a big hole in it.
Yeah.
All right, so after that match, Vince came out and made the second announcement about Brian Pillman. Again, they had no idea what happened, how it happened, which is a good thing he learned later on with the Chris Benoit thing, how they didn't wait to see what happened. They paid a big tribute to Chris Benoit. And, oops. A day later, oops. Let's take all that back. Let's take all that back and wipe him completely from existence. But yeah, so instead we got midgets.
Which we know from history works really well.
Works real well. Midgets. I keep saying midgets. I don't know if anyone's going to get offended. If you're offended, just let me know and I'll stop saying midgets. Max Mini. Until then, I won't stop saying midgets. Max Mini and Nova against Tarantula and Mosaic. And let me tell you something. Am I the only one who hates these matches? Am I the only one?
It was the worst. I couldn't believe it. I was like, did they really put this on TV? Like, on a pay-per-view? After making that announcement, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So it's like LOD, the Road Warriors, go first. Then the midgets. Like, what's going on here?
It's like sorry Brian Pillman died. Oh, here come the midgets. So it's like, so now you're like looking at, and by the way, fun fact, I think none of them spoke good English. I think because they all worked in Spanish, and because they were luchadors. So I guess the ref and everybody were having trouble. Like, he's like, oh, there's like speaking in Spanish and stuff, and nobody could understand them. And that made it even better. You know what I mean? So that's more inside. I don't think
it wasn't like it was a good match.
No.
Oh, what? Who was the one that's like the size of a baby Yoda? The guy with the white suit, like a spaceman.
Wasn't that Max Mini? Is that Max?
That's
Mini
Max Mini. Yeah, he's like as big as this cup. Yeah,
they said he was the smallest athlete ever.
How could he not be? How could he not?
Athlete in the history of the World Wrestling Federation.
He couldn't
even then. Do you remember the finish? You guys watched. I know you watched it recently. Did you see the finish? It said Mini pinned Tarantula despite a kick out at 2. So they couldn't even get the finish correct. It wasn't even a 3 count.
I told you the ref had no idea what they were talking about. They probably said, "Oh, he's kicking out at 2." So
maybe did midgets go to 2?
Right, you know what I mean? The ref's probably trying to like kayfabe be like, "Oh no, I understand him." It's probably Tim White from Boston. I don't know who was it.
I don't know. But you know what? I get it. Bundy goes to 5. Regular people go to 3. Midgets go to 2.
Midgets go to 2.
Midgets go to 2.
Midgets go to 2. That's my next T-shirt. Just gonna say. I'm just throwing that out there. So the next match, I said it was Headbangers against the Godwins for the tag team championship. And again, I don't know how I blocked that out that they were the tag champs. Who did they beat for the tag titles? Anybody remember?
Was it
Skip and Zip, or was it?
Because there were no Outlaws yet, right? There were no Outlaws
No,
at this time.
that's after.
Well, they just got started. The Outlaws just got started.
They started, yeah, but
it wasn't Skip and Zip then. It was
Skip and Zip.
Remember the Body Donnas?
Oh no, I'm just saying.
I think that was way too. Were they even there still? The Body Donnas at that time?
I don't know
because remember Sonny jumped around to every tag team there was. Yeah. She was a Young Gun. She was a Zip. She was a LOD girl. She was.
Was it Bulldog? Did they beat them?
I don't remember. Dave, do the research, Dave.
I'm working on it right now.
Anyway.
Oh, I got it. They won the vacant tag team titles at Ground Zero in your house after Mosh Pin Owen Hart. Thanks to a run-in by Steve Austin.
Because
why were they vacant?
Because Austin and Dude Love had to give up the titles because Austin was hurt and couldn't wrestle.
Okay.
Couldn't defend them, yeah. Because Owen broke his neck.
That's the whole segment where he's stunned
316, baby.
Love that.
I still want that T-shirt.
Owen 316. He had that shirt on at this paper. He had that shirt on. But I said maybe you guys didn't notice too. 0 pop for the champs. 0 pop for the Godwins. This was a fart in the wind match from the beginning to the end, and I couldn't even sit through the whole thing. But when they came out, I was like, I remember that they weren't that bad. The whatever the hell they were called, the headbangers. I mean, I like when they got hit over the head with a JVC kaboom box, but they were okay. The Godwins were just god awful.
Yeah,
so
they weren't.
this was a 0 match. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this crappy match?
I mean, I didn't mind it too much. Watching this match, I remembered how much I liked the headbangers again. And the one thing that really got me was at the beginning of the match. So Mosh is in. Mosh's looked like they hadn't started. They hadn't locked up yet. Mosh looks around. He gets a hawker in his mouth, shoots it up in the air, and catches it again before the match starts. And that just drove me wild. I was like,
that's
wow.
metal. That's effing metal right there, man. That's so awesome.
I saw it and I was like, yo, that is amazing. I can't even think. I don't even want to try it, but I know I can't do that.
Well, we'll never have a show about the headbangers. So if you want to give your impressions of the headbangers, let's do that now.
Well, I remember them. I don't know how. I mean, nobody thought to put together that this was like the current like anti-culture for kids against like the hillbilly redneck culture of whatever. So there's like not only a clash of culture, a clash of style. The Godwins are huge. The headbangers are not huge. I like the big fist club and hillbillies. I don't know. Maybe it's because I live with all of them up here, but and the headbangers, I identify with them because I was more like them when I was back then. So I thought it was cool. As far as like a match, I mean, I don't think Dave Meltzer would give it a 5-star, but
unless Kenny Omega would have
minus 5 stars.
Oh God, did I hear that? You know, why can we go one frickin' show without mentioning that dumbass bastard name?
Midgets go to 2. That's all I'm going to say.
Midgets go to 2.
So, Bert, what do you think? What do you think of the headbangers match? Was it good? Was it bad? What do you think of the headbangers period?
I mean, actually, I remember when I was younger, I kind of watched them towards their end when they were still in the WWF, or they were like on the lower, like kind of hardcore division or whatever. But I thought they were okay. I didn't necessarily think they were anything crazy. The Godwins, I mean, at the time, you know, they were kind of left over from that new generation kind of gimmick, where it was like gimmick. And but yeah, I don't know exactly how to explain it, why the crowd was so dead for that match. But
well, Bert, wait a minute. Bert, wait a minute, Bert. You're a hillbilly. Why weren't you cheering for the guy? I mean, yeah, come on.
Nah.
Well, it was a terrible match with, and then the Godwins went all evil at the end, trying to beat everybody up.
Real quick, do you guys remember when Jeff Jarrett had them as Southern Justice?
Yes.
They had like the suits on. They'd walk out like,
yeah.
I don't think that
Double J.
Anyway, what was the next match?
Well, next actually there was a ceremony to honor all famous people from St. Louis wrestling. It was
that's right.
Gene Kiniski, Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Jr., Harley Race, Terry Funk, Lou Thez, and promoter Sam Munchin, which was nice to see all them together. And you know what I'm thinking about? Most of them are still alive.
They are still alive.
And all our heroes are dead. What
do they have in common? What do they have in common besides Southern wrestling? What do they have in common?
St. Louis? Was
it? Sam Munchin was a big time promoter in the NWA, but what do they all have in common? Come on.
Facial hair.
Yeah.
They're white.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
They are
Spit it out, man.
They're all former NWA champions. Back when the NWA meant more than it does now. I mean, you're talking Dory Funk Jr. was a renowned NWA champion. Gene Kiniski, I believe he had a run with the NWA. It might have been up north, but he did.
He was in Canada.
Lou Thez. I mean, you even have to. If you guys don't know who Lou Thez is, then just X yourself off the show right now.
You don't got to say much. You just got to say the name for that one.
Lou Thez, he is the NWA. You know, other than Ric Flair, he might be the greatest NWA champion ever. So
you got to remember too, like when guys like, if you were like, you know, I watched mostly WWF when I was a kid. Terry Funk was average. Dory Funk, average. Harley Race, he was old and he was the king, but he was like, But you got to do your research, and then you realize, like, holy crap, these guys were actually phenomenal back in the day. These are some of the greatest wrestlers you've ever seen in your life.
A flair for the gold. Arcade 83.
I'm putting up $25,000 to keep Flair away from the world title.
That's great.
I love it.
All right, our next match was the finals of the Intercontinental Championship that also Austin had to release because of his injury. We got Owen Hart facing Farouk for the belt with, don't forget, Stone Cold Steve Austin sitting at ringside. And he comes down to the ring. I love that. He chucked the belt right at Vince. It was awesome. That's the first thing he did was chuck the belt.
And then Austin's like going up to the table, and then Vince is like, it's like, wait, excuse me, the commissioner put a seat for you over here to sit down and watch the match, sir. If you could please sit down. Thank you.
Did he flip Vince off? Did he do the whole?
They're like, don't upset him.
No,
don't upset him.
I think he flipped off Owen. No, it's like, don't provoke him.
Yeah, don't provoke him. Don't provoke him.
Don't provoke a rattlesnake. A damn rattlesnake.
He went to each of the announcer tables in Spanish.
Yes.
He's like, and then he
went to the French. Something about me. And then I think
he's like, no, friend, amigo, amigo.
Exactly.
And he goes to the French one, and he's like, no hablo French. And it's like, what?
Oh, man.
Wait a minute.
Classic.
I forgot that. He went to the Spanish?
Yep.
He went to all three tables. There was a Spanish and French announcer table.
And they switched the audio?
Yep, they switched it every single time he was there.
And it's hilarious because he's basically distracting from the match because Owen keeps on looking over every 2 seconds. Yeah. And then at the end, it's like Farouk goes to do something and he hits him with the belt, and then Owen wins the title, and then Austin just throws the belt
in the ring.
Here, F you, go. Here's your title. I'm out of here.
Wait a minute. You
can't even judge the match. Austin was so entertaining at ringside.
Yeah.
You can't even judge.
You're focused on him.
Yeah.
Do you realize how great that is? Do you realize how great that is?
Oh, it's
amazing.
Why
did I forget about that? It's like all new to me now. I want to watch it.
Listen, I know it sucks, but Austin getting hurt was probably the best thing that ever happened to him because it developed this character, and he became the badass, and he became what he became.
He was forced to change.
Yeah, man, it was phenomenal. Oh yeah, that match, Eric. You watched that match. You don't know what happened. I can tell you. I can't tell you one thing that happened in that match except for the ending.
Yeah,
because just to finish because Austin was so great at ringside.
Now think about. Okay, I'm Steve Austin. I'm your token Texas white dude, and I got camouflage on. I walk over to the Spanish announce table. Why didn't the Spanish guys start speaking English to him? Why were they talking in Spanish? Or did Steve just start pretending to talk?
Yeah, it was Tito Santana.
Tito Santana.
Come on.
Yeah, he's the one that was like, no, somos amigos.
No. You know English. Come on, Tito.
So Austin just going, oh yeah, habla, whatever.
Yeah, all of it.
Whatever talking about, man, whoop your ass.
Couldn't tell you what happened in that match.
But what was crazy about that is that you have Owen Hart and Ron Simmons, who are two of the most athletic guys ever in wrestling. If they would have actually had a full 20-minute, 15-minute battle, it would have been kick ass. Both of those guys are super athletic. It would have been great. But it's not. I don't want to say unfortunately, but obviously they were trying to get Austin over, even though regardless of what happens, he's losing his title. He's still going to be over.
He went to the French announce table too.
Yeah.
Please tell me Ray Rougeau was there. Please tell me. I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't him yet.
What I think sucks most about that is that, man, it kind of showed where Farouk's character was going, man.
Yeah,
he needed a new gimmick, man. That Farouk. You can tell.
I think Farouk could have gotten over, but The Rock just overpowered him, man. The Rock took the reins and said, "Hey, sorry, Farouk, you're riding the back."
It took a while, but yeah.
Farouk didn't seem like he had his heart. Simmons didn't seem like his heart was in Farouk, though. Like when he started to lose momentum, he was kind of like, the nation, hey,
We got to get in the blue Power Ranger looking suit. Is that what we had to do?
That was fun.
So anyway, Austin hits Farouk with the belt. Owen wins, and Owen walking out the ring with the anvil again shows his underrated character. Going, I did it myself. I did it myself. I did it myself. Hysterical, and I'm sitting there dying laughing because again, you had a horrible 5-minute match. Austin hits Farouk over the head with a belt, and the first thing he does is scream, "I did it myself. I'm the best." And Owen, I said, outstanding because again, he doesn't get enough credit for his character work. He never gets enough credit for how funny he was.
Who, Owen?
And the shirt.
They never released that shirt officially, right? He only had that for the gimmick.
Yeah, I don't think they ever released it.
Yeah, I don't think they ever released it.
What, the shirt?
Yeah, the shirt.
The Owen 316. I just broke your neck.
Because I remember they in one of the clips that they showed in between the matches, they were highlighting Austin's 316 shirt. I feel like they would have probably done like more or Owens, but yeah, they just did Austin. They didn't do Owens.
You can find a gimmicked one on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna make one. I told you we're gonna make you one.
Oh yeah. You did. Hang on a minute. Lost it. Go ahead.
All right, we'll move on to the next one but I go back and watch that, Eric, because that was hysterical.
Yeah, I want to see that. I have to see that. I have to.
We had an 8-man tag, which the Disciples of Apocalypse had 4 members.
Yeah,
I think I'm blocking stuff out of my head, and they went against Los Boricuas.
That means, wait a minute. I'm going to drop my Spanish. I'm going to drop my Spanish here. I know what Los Boricuas means. It means it's affectionately to refer to the Puerto Ricans. If you're Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Ha! Ha! Okay? Savvy.
Those matches are right.
I can speak Spanish. Say something, guys. Say it. I'll answer you.
¿Cómo estás, Eric?
I had a pancake and I had a glass of orange juice, but no, I'm good.
You're on the borderline, Eric. You're on the borderline. Let's keep it nice.
Oh no, I want to learn the language. I understand it, but I don't speak it.
This match is basically what you thought it was going to be: an 8-man drag out, knockout, normal Los Boricuas versus DOA type of match. Whatever.
Didn't you like the Los Boricuas though?
I feel like I only like Savio, and that was about it. And same thing with DOA. I like Crush, and that was it.
Am I the only one that liked them?
I mean,
I don't even know who they are.
No, they were okay.
I know Savio.
It's really it's only just Savio. That's
they were awesome.
Who was the other guys? Name the other guys.
Jesus Castillo.
Uh-oh, I gotta go.
Don't say Jose Feliciano. That's wrong.
No, Jesus Castillo is one of them.
Okay, you're right. Jesus. Who else?
It's okay if you don't know.
I'll let you know this.
Who was the guy with the hairy back?
They've won an award.
Me.
Nah.
Oh, you're asking. I'm telling you.
No, I just thought they were cool. I'm a Savio Vega guy. I always loved Savio Vega, and I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't know. I like the Los Boricuas.
Guys, you want to hear a funny story about this match?
Do it, man.
So, Wrestling Observer gives out awards at the end of the year. Them versus DOA was rated the worst feud of 1997.
Of the entire 97.
Yes.
Of every wrestling federation.
The Boricuas versus DOA was the worst feud of the year.
I don't even remember it. I don't remember it at all. Who was the other DOA guys? Who were they? I remember who they were.
Yeah, it's
8-Ball, Skull, and Chains.
No, real names. Real names.
Oh, Brian Lee. And then the Jacob and Eli Blue. They were Ron Harris and Don.
Skull, Chains, Crush.
The Harris brothers, yeah.
Scumbag. Whatever.
Paul Ellering as a manager.
I didn't like the DOA. I thought it was dumb.
All right. That's a weird. All right. So we go to the next one. Bret Hart, Grumpy Bret, and his brother-in-law took on Vader and the Patriot in a tag match.
The Patriot.
No, it was a flag match.
It was supposed to be captured the flag match, where the object was to grab the opponent's corner and grab the country's flag to win. this was changed to allow for pinfalls and submissions due to all 4 competitors entering the match with injuries. So this was a shit show from the beginning because everybody was already hurt. And this was known because the fans interfered. Did they show the fans interfere on the network?
They showed one of the guys going in, and then the ref kind of like trying to hit him to get him out, and then Bulldog comes and kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
Wow, I remember that. I know Bret Hart won with the roll up, and that was a whole big thing. And
I didn't like that. I feel like with the flag, they should have just taken off the flag stipulation. Then I feel like if it's a flag match, that's how you need to win the match.
And you never saw the Patriot again. This is it.
And he came out to a Kurt Angle song. It felt so weird listening to it.
Pre Kurt Angle, yeah.
Now I never knew that too until I saw the Patriot one. I'm like, why is that Kurt Angle song?
You're over here. Pre Kurt Angle. Did you hear it? Pre Kurt Angle.
I'm like, why?
Yep.
I was like, why? Why is this Kurt Angle's music? What is this playing? I don't know. I block a lot of stuff out from back then. I don't know why.
I don't know. I lost interest when you guys shit all over me liking the Bariquas, so whatever. Like,
I didn't shit on you for that.
We didn't.
Nobody shit on you for that.
Look, I thought they were the coolest faction. I really did.
Well, now you're going a little too far.
I don't know.
How are they? Dude, they were awesome.
Dude, Puerto Ricans don't think they're the greatest faction. What are you talking about?
Well,
in the world,
bring up
maybe a few do.
You got the Nation and DX running around. You're going to talk about the Bariquas as the greatest?
Okay, DX is the greatest.
DX the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, the Hart Foundation, too. How badass were they?
It was very faction heavy at the time. Very.
I think the Bariquas got slighted.
I won't argue that, but you don't call them the greatest.
The greatest gang faction. How's that? The greatest gang faction when they're doing the gang thing.
Mean Street Posse.
And we come to the main event of the evening. Oh, the Mean Street Posse, yeah. They were
Mean Street Posse, yeah. Boy, those guys are tough.
From the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut.
Who the hell was Cardigan?
When I went to that NXT, I went to an NXT thing in the Paramount right before they got big. And there was Shane McMahon was sitting right across from us. We had the second row. And he was sitting with Pete Gas. And as soon as the crowd saw him, over. Pete Gas. Until he stood up and waved, the crowd went crazy.
Shane O'Mac's voice.
It was great. It was great, though. Once he got spotted, it was over. So now we got the main event. You got Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in the first ever Hell in a Cell match, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think this is probably, Mick Foley, of course, obviously, because of what he did in that match, makes it a great match. But I thought this was a much, much better overall Hell in the Cell match.
This one is the best.
That Mick Foley
it told the best story.
Definitely.
Wait, are we talking about all time or just like?
No, I'm talking all time because Mick Foley's Undertaker's was great.
I don't know. I feel like End of an Era told a bigger story. If you leave it at that, if you leave it at WrestleMania 28, End of an Era, WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell, Triple H, Taker, Shawn Michaels as a guest referee, told a better story than this one.
Yeah, but then
I'm not saying it was bad.
But then they went and got their hair cut a couple years later and then wrestled it.
That's what I'm saying. You got to stop it there, though.
Then
we have what happened in Saudi Arabia.
So historically, the two Hell in a Cell matches that people love the most are the King of the Ring '98 and this one. This one, for me, from a match perspective, from psychology perspective, was a lot better than the King of the Ring. Because the thing is, because Foley's, even though his bumps were incredible, honestly, when you think about that match, that's all you think about is the two bumps.
Yeah. You don't think about it. It wasn't a match.
Well, yeah,
it wasn't a match.
It's Undertaker just chasing him, and then Mick Foley doing the two huge bumps, which are crazy, which never be done again. But with this one, you watch it from beginning to end. It's the one word to describe it is escalation. Undertaker keeps on beating up Shawn, Shawn goes over the top. The whole thing with the cameraman, where Shawn does a moonsault on him, and then he kicks him, and then they have to take him out of the door because they keep on mentioning, the door's locked, there's no way out, but they have to get the cameraman out. So the Undertaker takes Shawn out, boom, because Shawn tries to run away because the chicken shit heel, boom, doesn't want to be in there. That whole spot in the beginning where Undertaker's enters when he snaps real quick and Shawn's just like, oh shit, when the lights come on. That scene's great.
Oh, he sold that good.
And-
He sold that good.
Yeah,
And
and then
this
the whole
match
thing.
had-
And
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Bert. Yeah, finish.
Okay, no, I'm just saying. So, and then with the finish, it was great because then you had the debut of Kane, which had been built up for a while, which wasn't something that randomly happened. They kept on teasing it, and it works for both guys because it ends their feud. Shawn Michaels wins by the skin of his teeth after getting beat up, cut the hard way, by the way,
Yeah,
which
that
is
was
really, really hard to watch. And Undertaker, starts a new feud with Kane, and then he gets out of the way, and then we get to Survivor Series. But like I said, the finish on that is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
this match came about because Shawn hit Undertaker over the head and he missed Brett at the previous pay-per-view, and that's what
SummerSlam.
caused this match to happen at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But like you said, and Foley obviously took the bigger bumps, but Shawn took some really, really nasty bumps
Yeah.
in this freaking match. And
Dude.
again, he had the bad back going at this time. Wow. I mean, he took a ass whoop. He even admits it. He just got his ass whooped for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Undertaker took a couple good ones too, but he took some horrible ones.
And Shawn didn't stop though. Shawn was still even after when he fell off, I was watching and trying to pay attention to, Shawn and Taker seeing who was trying to carry each other. It was still Taker got down finally, and Shawn still, after going through the table, he's busted open, was still going enough to, have Taker pick him up, throw him again on the ground on the broken table. It was just Shawn, man.
Yeah.
Say what you want about how bad he was at that time in the locker room. When he went out there, he did his job. There was no one that was gonna say he did it.
Name a better worker. Name a better worker of the '90s than him. Name me one.
Only Steve Faraci hates Shawn Michaels. So we're gonna ban him from our. I want to do a click show eventually, or he's banned from that show because I don't want to hear his negativity about Shawn Michaels. But Eric, where do you rank this match as far as overall Hell in a Cells, and what do you think of it personally?
The other two Barriquas were Miguel Perez and Jose Estrada Jr. You guys can all, Anyway,
Move
what I
on.
think of this match, I thought this was this is not just one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. This was a great goddamn match. I mean, those two worked their asses off. And they were their timing was just boom, 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 boom. I mean, they didn't miss a step, either one of them. Undertaker for a bit, like that one where Shawn had him on the ropes and Taker just dropped down and did the thing off the ropes and Shawn bumped. I mean, that was phenomenal. That just little spot right there was phenomenal because the timing it took for a big guy to drop to his ass and for Shawn to time that right and flip back, and the Taker, gets down, does his hair flip and gets back in the ring. And I mean, like pillar to post, throwing him up against the chain link. Shawn scooting in the back and pushing him forward. Classic babyface heel, small guy move.
The jabbling move.
How about that elbow he gave Taker from way across the ring to the other? Oh, that was phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And he's still kipping up. They've been going about 40 minutes, and he's still kipping up and doing the conditioning. And these guys were just wrestlers, man. This is guys can't do that anymore.
And this is why they call each other the greatest, because it really was a fantastic match. Not the Hell in a Cell, it's just in general, like you said, just an outstanding matchup with two guys who just they're up there, man. They're up there. They're on the mountain. They're never going to come down either. Yeah, I just absolutely love this match. It was very average pay per view, but this match really really solid. And of course, here comes Kane. You hit that music, you hit that dark, and all of a sudden you see this gigantic red and black thing with blonde Paul Bearer, which really threw me for a loop, so you know. Really threw me for a loop seeing blonde Paul Bearer. Kane comes down, rips the cage off. Undertaker actually looks scared for the first and only time in his career. Looks scared, which is really telling. And then bam, he hits him with a kick, he hits him with a tombstone. 1, 2, 3, Kane just walks away, and wow. It was like, holy crap.
Not just any tombstone. I call it the slipstone because it's like the fast one where it's like, it's like, oh,
yeah.
You know why? Because Kane picked him up. I think he was looking for what camera to face. So he turned again. Then he slip up. And that was it. He dropped him. Undertaker's probably like, you mother, do it already. All right, so any final thoughts on Bad Blood before we move on or whatever?
So my last thing with that is, well, it's two things actually. One, with the Hell in a Cell, when they had Shawn and Taker up there, I even looking at it then with them, it was flimsy. I can't believe they let Mankind and Undertaker up there. Like I think what is it? The King said it at one point. He's like, when Taker threw Shawn like on top of the cage, he's like, oh, you can see the bars like starting to bend. Why did they not fix this when they had a guy who weighs probably 2 times more than Shawn Michaels doing it? It blew my mind.
They secretly wanted it.
I think it was part they didn't know. They didn't know this is the first time they're doing it, so they don't know how it's going to react and how heavy it's really going to be or how it's going to affect the top of it. And they probably didn't even know that they were going to go up there.
How much worse that would have been.
Yeah. And there's also a great angle too, where the camera's looking up, and then Taker has Shawn on the cage, and he rubs his head against the cell.
The blood
drips on the camera. I don't know if you heard it I heard it on the network, but the guy was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yep.
The camera guy saw the blood.
It was falling on him, Shawn's blood.
Yeah, yeah.
That's once in a lifetime.
It's like when he was on the. It's like when he was on the announcer table. There's blood on the papers. I'm like, oh man,
someone scripted.
Awesome, man. Eric, any final thoughts on this pay-per-view? What do you think?
Overall, it was okay. The main event made it worth sitting through.
Yeah,
most of those awful matches.
Midgets,
especially the Barricas.
Midgets.
I heard that. Keep shitting on my Barricas, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna make a comeback, and we're gonna have our day.
They are back. They're in AEW.
They are.
What's their name? Latin Express, right?
What is it? Eddie King?
Isn't that them? The guys in
Is Javier there?
No.
No, I don't mean the actual guys. I'm just joking. I'm just saying you got the other guys.
Oh, you're talking about Proud and Powerful. I forget what their name is.
Yeah.
In AEW. They are. Yeah, they're heavy.
I'll have to look, but nobody's ever gonna come close. They were talented guys. Come on.
Dude, I'm not knocking them. I'm just
saying go ahead and like the DOA and the nation. Go ahead. I got nothing to say. No, seriously though, good. It let you good, decent matches, but it was well worth waiting to the Hell in a Cell because that match was one of the most phenomenal matches I've ever seen.
Yep,
I agree.
I mean, anything with Shawn, if your main event is Shawn and Taker and anything, it's gonna be worth watching. The main event.
Yeah.
All right, Eric. I know you said you had to go. Are you taking off, or you want to hang out for a minute? Because I do want to talk to the two gentlemen about stuff that's been going on recently. Are you heading out? You want to stick around for a minute?
I can hang out for a few.
Kenny.
All right, so no, we're not going to talk about Kenny Omega. Right, and even Eric, though, I want to get your opinion too because we glossed over it a little bit. Bert, you weren't around. Roman Reigns is now a heel. He has aligned himself.
You mean the High Chief?
High Chief.
I'm sorry, he's the High Chief.
The High Chief.
I'm sorry. He's with Paul Heyman, and let me tell you something. I expected
loving this.
That match with him and the Uso was fantastic. The story I thought was fantastic. The ending was fantastic, and it hooked me. I'm not gonna lie, it hooked me. So, where do you down though? Does my faction story prediction still hold up, or do you think it's gonna go in a different direction? Whoever wants to go first.
You're talking about with
I still see the Usos and Usos, the Samoans. I think.
So I'll start off here because I think I might be the only one on the opposite end. I liked the story that it told. I didn't like the match. I really didn't enjoy watching. Is it Jimmy, right? Or is it Jay? Whatever the Uso. I think it's Jay. Jay Uso getting his ass whooped the entire time. Like, I get it. You're trying to build Roman. Fantastic. And on a main event, he should not be creaming some guy like that just so badly. So I didn't like that. It was basically a squash. Yeah. I enjoyed the story it told. I feel like maybe they could have put that a little bit down the card, or like they love to put the Universal Championship down. And then I liked the ending when Jimmy came out to, throw the white flag. I like that. And then Roman getting laid in the middle of the ring. I thought that, and being called a chief. I enjoyed that, and I like where that's going. And to say what you're saying, I think maybe at Hell in a Cell we might get a little bit more of that, where you just get Jimmy going, hey, yeah, he betrays maybe Jay, and you start, your new Samoans or whatever you want to call it.
How many Samoans are there right now? Just the 3 of them, or is there a couple more?
I mean, if you throw in Tamina, maybe that's another 4.
Yeah.
Because Nia's on Raw.
Nia's on Raw, though. But then they got the draft is coming, so we don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Nia Jax is sexy as hell.
So, Bert, what do you think? What do you think of this storyline, and what do you think of my Samoan faction idea?
I'm loving it because the whole problem with Roman the last couple of years was that let me not say us. A lot of the fans wanted him to change his character because we don't like the force-fed Superman punch. I'm not going to sell anything. I'm going to win all the matches. Kind of Roman Reigns. Fine. But as for himself, coming back after the whole issue he had with his cancer, beating that, when he came back, I'm like, he's never going to turn heel because you can never turn heel after coming back for something like that because the fan support is just going to be too much. Legit. Not even kayfabe-wise. But Brock Lesnar leaving and having Paul Heyman not having no one to manage, basically, I did not expect that. When I saw that online where, he's sitting there, they give him the contract, and then they turn the camera over, and it's Paul Heyman, I was just like, wow. Because that's the perfect way for him to get over as a heel. Because if you have Heyman do the talking, and Heyman basically saying what Roman wants to say, but basically making people believe it since it's Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman can make anyone look good. Because he's one of the best talkers ever. Regardless if he's a manager, if he's
Curtis Axel.
Oh yeah, that's not his. That's whatever. But I'm saying, but with Roman, it works.
And don't forget one other thing, though. He took a lot of shit when he decided to sit out during the bad COVID years.
Exactly.
So that sympathy he got for the cancer went away real quick.
Yeah,
because he took a lot of crap from the crowd.
And a lot of people weren't a fan of what the match was going to be, which was him versus Goldberg. No, I mean, I wasn't. None of us. I remember us talking about it. None of us were really into that match. So it's like they just were going to redo what they were doing with Roman before. So him sitting out, if anything, helped us, the fans, out to finally push him as a heel.
And again, if you had to look something positive with the COVID and him sitting out, this was it. Because this was like, look, now you're getting booed again because you sat out, which is stupid, by the way. You doing what you got to do you just had babies. You didn't protect those kids more than anything. And he's getting booed for it. He's getting
hate. He has an autoimmune disease that he just
sitting out.
Yeah,
Roman sat out in the beginning, and then when COVID really hit, because he just had babies.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to come in.
Leukemia,
yeah, exactly. He had an autoimmune disease that he gets sick. He's 100% might not survive that.
So Vince can suck it, man. I would sit out too.
Oh no, it's not Vince though. It's the crowd though, because he got the sympathy for the cancer. Coming back, he got cheered. But then as soon as he's like, no, I got to take a step back because of my health and my kids. He never said himself. He mostly said because of the kids. Roman sucks. But now it's like, oh, dude, does he suck? Now he comes back as a heel with Paul Heyman, and it's fantastic. And Eric, I know you're not a big Roman fan, but you got to admit that this is a pretty cool way to bring him back and a cool storyline.
I've been watching some of it, man, and it's really cool. I even like his attitude, like the new attitude. Like it's not like he's different, and it's cool. And
it's like he's not doing anything heelish. He's just like serious and like I know what I have to do.
Yeah, he's indifferent, but it's just like F it, It's really cool.
He's the high chief now,
which is awesome. I don't know, I'm digging it. And Raul, I hope you're right. I hope I'm right.
And he's not wearing the vest anymore. He's just showing off the chest.
He made sure that during COVID he was not just sitting home, drinking beer, having a bag of potato chips. That man was working. He got his teeth done. He did everything to come back and be like, "Yo, this is me now."
Wow, because it's the little things. Because this, with the fact that there's no fans, no real fans in the audience, when you have those matches, like when he's like, he has Jimmy holding the title, it's like, oh, it's like this feeds my family, this feeds your family, this feeds your kids. You know, it's like you really feel that. That was great.
Yeah.
I love
does
that.
Does Roman look like Chum Lee now from Pawn Stars with the bad teeth, or no?
No, he's got perfect
when you
teeth.
saw it, at first when you saw it, it was just like he looked like Ross from Friends when he got his teeth completely whitened. I don't know if anyone knows that reference, but that's what he looked like.
Okay.
You know what? He looks like Jonah Hill in The Wolf of Wall Street. You see that one?
I'm adding another no to the Just Too Sweet show list, and it's Friends. Don't ever bring up Friends. It is the worst goddamn show on the planet.
Oh, come on.
Don't do it, Dave. No, Bert, come on. Help me out here.
What do you like? What do you like more than Friends?
What do I like more than Friends? Let's see, the Drew Carey Show, Seinfeld. Whose line
Ohio?
is it?
Okay.
Nothing good comes out of Ohio.
Seinfeld's great. Seinfeld's the best show ever made.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not get sidetracked because we only have a little bit of time left because the Yankees are coming on soon. One other thing I want to talk about real quick was the Alexa Bliss story over on SmackDown, which, by the way, SmackDown I think is a much better show at the moment.
Yeah.
What happened after the draft?
I missed some of it. I was going to check it out, but I missed it.
Well, Eric, Alexa Bliss pretty much got kissed by the Fiend, and slowly but surely every week she's getting a little weird, and it's pretty freaking cool. I thought it was awesome. I thought the one shot when Roman came out and she just stared at him like The Exorcist.
Staring like this is her hair.
Yeah. And she's just staring at Roman Reigns as you walk past him with this sick, twisted look. And every week she gets a little more creepy. And the music hits and she like becomes a whole nother person. I'm not saying she's going to be Sister Abigail, but she's definitely a part of this faction now. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it was a perfect time for her. Well, what do you guys think about her little turnaround?
I love it. It's good for her because she's been kind of they've also didn't know how to really book her, especially after the whole tag team thing with her and Nikki Cross kind of ended. But yeah, I mean, she's good. I mean, I don't know where it's going. I mean, it's easy to say that she's going to be Sister Abigail, but it could be something else completely. But I hope it's beneficial for her because hopefully she can get into the women's title picture again, and like she used to be a couple years ago, and get with that because
Yeah, me, what do you like?
I mean, I love it. For me, I've made it clear I love Alexa Bliss. I think her character when she's a heel is fantastic. I think the thing was them trying to make her a baby face and then getting lost in the world of the tag team division that is the women's because they don't know what they're doing there. And then now this is a great way that, Alexa Bliss right now is showing you why she has been so good, why her character development is so good. She went from, like that mean girl type of thing to now she's like a crazy, like psychotic girl. And I think that'll be great. Imagine Alexa Bliss coming out with like a Fiend mask. Like,
something crazy like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
I love it. I think it's great. It's one of the best things that's happening. It's like what you said. It's little subtle things. Like when she's walking past Roman and she just looks back and sees him with the title. It's just those little things that just make it
like
great.
She's staring for the Fiend. Like she's staring at him for.
Exactly.
She's a vessel for the Fiend.
Yeah, like a vessel. Yeah, exactly.
Is she slutty too or no? Is she like slutty or no?
No.
Your woman, by the way, is half tag team champion. I don't know if you knew that or not. Nia Jax is tag team champion.
Really?
With Shayna Baszler.
One thing I did want to bring up, I know I'm going to get sidetracked again, but real quick, we had Night of Champions, Clash of Champions, whatever that was, and we talk about what a mistake they keep making with the women. So you have all these women, who could get a title shot for Bayley. All these women who deserve a title shot. Who do they give it to? Asuka. Who is the Raw Women's Champion already? Why did we make such a stupid mistake again?
Is she the Japanese girl?
Yes.
And she's the Raw Women's Champion. And
she's
Bayley
talented.
has the SmackDown title. Oh, no, I'm not saying she's not talented.
No,
she just fought her like a pay-per-view ago. And like you said, she's not on SmackDown. So there's no reason for her to come on to fight for that belt. Like, it just makes no sense what they're doing with that division.
You could have put anybody out there. You could have put Zelina Vega out there. You could have put anyone out there except freaking Asuka. mean,
It's like,
they must have lost faith in their
who's on
entire
SmackDown?
women's division.
Like, there's so many girls on SmackDown. You could have put Lacey Evans. You could have put Naomi, who they're talking about giving her a chance. Like, there's so many other people. You could have put Tamina again. Like, why not?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It made no sense, and that pissed me off that whole night. I was like, I couldn't get that out of my head after that. I was like, why would you do that again? Why would you do that? All the women you have, it's like they have no faith all of a sudden. The women's revolution is officially over, in my opinion. If that's the kind of shit you're gonna pull.
They lost Becky and Charlotte, and they're like,
"Oh, don't say that, Tim. Don't say that."
Oh, Eric, like I said, you just had 2 weeks ago. Before Asuka versus Bailey or whoever. No, Sasha for the Raw title.
No, but
and
she
now
fought her
Bailey,
twice.
yeah. So Bailey
I
will fight anybody. I will fight anybody. Out of the 30 women back that you bring out the same woman she just fought, the Raw Women's Champion. You don't give another woman a shot, even a look.
That's shitting on it. That is shitting on it.
It is. It's shitting on the women.
If
I was Stephanie, I'd be pissed off.
Maybe she got another boob job.
Stephanie?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say there was. Hey, whoa.
And that's a subject for another show too. We haven't done a good woman show yet. I think that's
no, we haven't. But Nia Jax has natural voluptuousness.
Nia Jax is a hurting machine.
Yeah, Nia Jax, yeah.
She can hurt me all day. Hurt me.
She's dangerous.
She's dangerous.
Bring it.
I don't know, dude. You got some weird taste in you.
I can take it.
Been hanging out with way too many Samoans is what it is.
That's what it is. It's that Samoan thing from back in the day coming back, which is kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy.
We call that a full circle.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up there before things get out of hand.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. So I'm not sure how many. Maybe Bert might have seen NXT on Sunday. They had a pay-per-view. I don't want to talk about it because I've only caught a little bit of it, but they announced, and it's funny because they're continuing to do it, that I guess one of their next shows, Halloween Havoc. So they're finally bringing back Halloween Havoc under
Halloween
NXT.
Havoc's coming back?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's just NXT though, right? It's just NXT.
It's just NXT.
That's even better.
It is even better.
We can have a Bariquas reunion.
Why?
Why don't you like the Bariquas?
Dude, I want to put a cap. I want to put a cap on the Bariqua.
The LWO.
LWO.
Oh, the LWO, baby.
Oh man.
Latino World Order.
They were better. They had Eddie Guerrero at least.
Yeah, I'm a Juventud guy too, and Psychosis. I like those guys. You know what? I'll jump off the bandwagon and jump on the other one. The LWO.
Yeah,
was better than.
We'll get behind you now. All right.
Anything with Eddie in it, though. Come on, man.
Now that's a shirt that I want to see you wear. The
LWO. Proudly.
I want to see every Latino person you pass go, what?
Listen, to get it on a reel, probably why I'm passionate about Latinos and wrestling, because two of my best friends were the Latin Hit Squad. And I got introduced to a lot of that culture when I was down in Allentown, because they have a big population of Puerto Rican people down there. So I got introduced to the food. I got introduced to the language, the people. So that's why it's passionate to me, because I met it. It was a time in my life that meant a lot to me.
Me too, except I just live in New York, so I have a lot of.
Well, you wouldn't think that in Pennsylvania there's a big population of Spanish people, especially from Puerto Rico, but there is. Look it up. There is.
Well, I was gonna say, Eric, whenever you want, come down to Miami, and I got a couple of.
What?
You enjoy the Latin crowd down here. That I'll say that.
I'm coming.
See
now.
You just got to walk with the White Claw, and that's about it.
Gil, what is it, Gil? Is he right?
Sí, correcto.
He just said, "Wait. Would you hold the White Claw though to get with one of these lovely Latin ladies?"
I would drink a 6-pack of White Claw.
Wow.
So Dave, your job is to find Eric a Latino woman who looks like Nia Jax.
Ooh, done. South Beach, plenty of them down there.
Dude,
That won't be hard.
I'm in.
Nope. He's gonna have his selection. He's gonna be like a kid in a chocolate
Smorgasbord.
factory.
I'll freaking walk down
Smorgasbord.
there for that, man. I don't care.
At first, you need a little bit of surgery before you go down there.
What kind of surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I need to be cauterized. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Eric's boys swim. I'm just saying, his boys swim.
I have Michael. Who's the guy? This pot smoker. This the swimmer.
Michael,
Michael
no, Ryan Lochte.
Who?
Is it Lochte? Ryan Lochte?
No, the big giant guy.
It is Michael
Big, tall,
Phelps.
goofy.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, Michael
Michael
Phelps.
Phelps. Yeah. All my guys are like Michael Phelps of the sperm world. Yeah. So
Yeah, you ain't going to South Beach without getting a little snippy.
well,
I don't want little Latino Eric showing up in 10 to 15. Wearing their Los Boricuas shirt.
Oh man.
Hey, you never know. I could move to Puerto Rico. I could because it's I could be I could run for office.
All right, we're getting off the rails here.
Yeah, we are. But I'm coming to South Beach. You guys are really in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they are.
Are you guys buddies? Like, do you hang out?
They're in heat country.
Yeah,
Do you guys hang out or no?
Nation, baby.
Do you
Yeah, well, we can.
and Bert hang out?
We've gone to a screening before, but obviously, COVID it's kind of messed everything up.
You been to the movies together? Nice.
Screening together.
I know. I was just trying for the comedy effect. Oh my God.
We've been to the movies together too, Eric.
I know we have, Tim, and it was fun.
All right, we're getting out of hand now. I got to shut it down.
We're off the rails. Shut it down.
Guys, any final words before we go? Bert.
Put on your mask. Stay safe. Stop spreading COVID. Be conscious of other people's health. That's
Jeez,
it.
you ain't kidding.
That's true.
Dave.
Following up what Bert said. Yes. Everything he said, follow it. And
I'm tired of all these movies being delayed till 2 years later. I'm tired of this.
It makes no sense. Just release them and let us pay $50 for it. I'll pay $50 to watch Black Widow right
People
now.
paid $30 for Mulan. They'll pay whatever for any other movie.
100%. 100%.
So stupid. Mr. Zan, anything not involving Los Boricuas or women or anything like that. Thank you, Raul. Have a good night.
I had a great time tonight. Great show. Please stop. Please be safe. Use your head. Like, don't gather when you shouldn't be gathering right now. You should be using logic, using self-awareness. Wear your mask. Keep away from people. If you're sick, don't go out. Blah, blah, blah. This is not a joke. And obviously we're proving now that it's not, because when the gates went up, everybody ran. Now we got an outbreak again up here, We got complacent in New York. We did. And Florida, please don't get complacent, because it'll be worse than it was the first time. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to happen to anybody. One death is way too many.
Word.
Exactly.
Dave, you're going on tonight for a quarter show?
Actually, I got news that we might not.
Oh,
how come?
Yeah.
Too late?
Might go on Thursday.
We could do a South Beach show.
Hey.
All right, well, fourth quarter show then, maybe coming Thursday then, if not tonight. The Put It in the Books guys, I believe, are doing their season wrap-up this week. Me and Ed will be doing Empire 161 when this Yankee series is over. Hopefully that's a 3-game sweep, and we'll do a show nice and early this week.
Hopefully in 2 days.
Hopefully in 2 days. If not, hopefully not 5 days. That's going to be really, really annoying. Jada and Kyle are always on random times. I don't know what day they're going to be on, but they will be on this week also. Make sure you check out all the shows. Make sure you share out this show. Love the show. Give us your ideas for the show, what you want us to talk about, break down, talk about wrestlers, wrestling, whatever. I don't care. We'll do it. And like I say every week, you might not like us, but learn to love us. We're the best thing going today. Peace out, everybody.